Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Hunterman.
This is Warboss Skarsog. Mal, your mute button.
Now your mute button.
I said something. Yeah, I was on.
Mm-hmm.
I just checked it.
I'll kill you.
Alright, now to take trucks to Oakland. One of the worst places to deliver to in the entire part of the game I own. Yes, that. Hold on. Make sure I can see my chat. I'm just letting the truck roll while that's happening. What the hell? Okay, Windows. You jackass. Windows, bitch. God damn it. Truck is just rolling. There we go. Now I can see my... Alright, now the sun is coming up. Birds are singing, children are playing on days like these.
Right.
Anyway.
Seems like you should be burning in hell.
Pretty much. Operating systems like you
Right,
should be burning in
and
hell.
Then turn right. Turn right.
I didn't... Wait. Not only did I... Okay. That guy got a fine, right? I want to see his fine. He's sitting in the intersection as a freight truck. What? He's cutting off the other guy. Now, come on. That guy gets a fine. I want to see other people's fine, game. I want to have a little thing that, like, I want a police radio, and I want a thing that tells me when other people get fines. Like, come on.
Feel good.
Yes. Well, the police radio to warn me that police are up ahead. But also, when somebody just sits in an intersection like that, I want the game to recognize even when it's doing it wrong. Like, sure, that might happen, but, like, that I get magically digitally fined for shenanigans, and it doesn't seem like anybody else does. I just wanted to go bloop, 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 but like in like a different tone that indicates it's not you, so that you can look up and be like, oh, that person got a fine. The sun is rising. Now, checking my timer. I can make this trip before I get tired. Oh, hello, my garage icon over here is like gold. Which I'm pretty sure it wasn't before, so that must be like, it's a maxed out garage. I think it's purple when you just own it. So it's nice. It's a nice feature.
Alright, don't get killed by a lox.
No, get killed by gobos, obviously. Those gobos were serious business.
Night gobos are real bad.
Where do you get a horseshoe thing that you guys have so that I could find silver on my own time?
We've got to beat biomass.
Is that like boss number 4 that they already beat?
Boss 3. It's boss 3 that they beat. It's the swamp boss.
Oh, right. We haven't done the swamp boss yet. I keep thinking
Yeah.
we have, but yeah. Alright. Alright, so, I don't know, we have dead air. I think that'd be dead ants. I think you're talking about dead ant. And shoe fly don't bother me. Or Tailipo? I guess Tailipo might fit. I don't know. Tailipo. All right, so we were discussing briefly police officers that couldn't be too smart or they couldn't be police officers and you didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
that.
Orlando PD. Yes! 30th fragment of Balinir.
Of how many, and is that good?
That's the last one I needed.
Oh. Well,
Now
then
I
that
gotta
sounds
go
good.
kill Cthulhu. Or not Cthulhu, Yogg Saron, which he's real easy. And then I will have my fourth legendary.
Oh,
I have Thunder Fury. I have both of the Warglaives of Azeroth. I now have Valinor Hammer of the Ancient Kings.
but real talk, are you free on Sunday that we could plan to do Stellaris, or...
Yes.
Okay. When is good for you? Because my current stream time is at least 5 to 9 p.m., and I don't know if that's late enough in the day that you wouldn't be able to, like, make good progress. I could set it earlier if I wanted. I just have to get a roommate to take another roommate into work. For
We can do 5 to 9.
second to last time.
Yeah, we do 5 to 9.
Okay. Then I will set that as... Because people have requested that I be doing schedule stuff, so I'm gonna be posting the schedule probably tomorrow. Tomorrow. Wait, actually, what time is it? It might actually be today.
11 p.m.
Hey, that guy's transporting a thing I don't think I can transport yet. He's transporting DLC. Huh. Oh, really? One of the DLCs is just... You start getting the option for really, really heavy weight class things to transport, including, like, giant tractors like that guy I just passed. I am in the maximum gear, and I am able to go, like, 58 miles an hour right now. I mean, I am a trucking truck, so...
Maximum gear.
Go straight on.
That was a real criminal, everybody. I could not tell what they did, but they were surrounded by, like, 2 cop cars, a state police, and there was a helicopter overhead. So, they did something wrong.
Keep murdering up in here.
I'm sure it wasn't killing Asian people, because, you know, that's not apparently a huge deal.
What?
I know, right?
Did you miss that? White guy killed Asian people because racism?
What?
Like 6 of them in Atlanta.
And it just kept getting worse.
What?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah.
He
The cops were like, "Oh, he was
knocked
just having
over,
a
like,
bad
3,
day.
different
Having a bad
spies.
day.
He had a bad day, and he killed
Dumbass.
like 6 people. He had a bad day.
Go straight on.
Fucking cops, man." In case anybody missed it, I feel substantially less safe if there's a cop present. Speaking of which, we have a courtesy officer at this apartment complex now. Do you guys know courtesy officer? Did you have a courtesy officer when you were in high school?
No.
That's when they have a police officer who is just like their jurisdiction is to be at your school. In case-
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is.
So now
just
we
didn't
have
have
now we have a courtesy officer at this apartment complex.
And so, what is the hall monitor doing? That's useful.
That's useful. I don't know about that, but no, it's just making me feel unsafe because he lives at the end of my building. Like this is. I think something's wrong with the shadows. Wait, hold on. Is that? Oh no, there's literally light coming through. I was like, I don't think that's how those shadows should work. I was distracted by the graphics for a second.
I don't know the lock's at.
To be fair, I wasn't fully aware of how interconnected alt-right was with incel, and that it's a whole thing about how apparently Asian women are super mysterious and this, that, and the other, and how that's a big kink for them, that they're... I don't know. He was shamed by not getting to have any sex because Asian women, and then he killed 6 people.
Yeah, so one story
for
is
him.
that he shot
I
up a
hope he's
bunch of
dead.
sex workers because racism. The other story is that he shot up a bunch of beauticians because racism.
I think it's beauticians that he associated with being sex workers.
Yeah, that he thought were sex workers because stereotypes.
Because stereotypes. Because racism.
Because racism.
Because racism. Man, so much in America because racism. And the rest of it that isn't
He was having a
racism in
bad day.
America, it's because money.
You killed 6 people!
He had a bad day. Man, if a Red Talon told me that he killed 6 people because he had a bad day, I was like, oh, what? You would have killed more?
I
Like,
drink 3 beers, eat a couple of gummy
Only
bears,
6?
and
You
pass out
stayed with
crying.
Red Talon.
only 6, right? He held back. He had a bad day.
Yeah,
He killed
right.
only 6 people. Meanwhile, yeah, if I have a bad day, that's when it's Krispy Kreme time, everybody. I go get donuts. That's
I drink a couple of Shock Tops.
That's
eat a
my
couple of
vice.
Gummy bears.
I
Oh,
spend
a
like
fucking
$12
day.
fucking dollars on 12 donuts. Ooh, that was almost a wreck on my part. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I'm watching it now.
Oh, it's your fault. Oh, okay. Just checking.
No, I can watch you watch because I'm behind you so far.
Oh wait, no, yours is the you look away and then there's a wreck, right? That's
Yeah.
yeah. Did you glance away for a second?
No, you're in my periph.
Okay. Sorry. All right. Yeah. How do you guys solve having a bad day? I don't murder people. You know. It's like I have free speech. I can say the N word as much as I want, and I don't say it. So like, woo me. I'm saying it as much as I want.
Hugs, sex, booze. That's how I fixed a bad day.
Well, the booze one still costs you money. Like donuts, beer, they cost you money. Sex probably doesn't cost you money.
Doesn't cost me anything.
Right. Did you didn't see the police chief making the announcement, and he was talking about, he answered one of the questions why, he had a bad day.
Jesus.
He literally said he had a bad day, and I was like, are you? What?
That's not a bad day. This person is now a serial killer.
Hey, Driver Agnes did some stuff, leveled up. I missed how much money they got. It's hard to look all the way down into the bottom corner of the screen when I'm staring at between the lines. Apparently this is a lot easier to do when you have a mouse and keyboard because you just, like, aim through the lines and it drives straight, but,
Tish?
I just can't. I've seen Zamp play fighting games with a keyboard, and I'm like, and also heard it's so loud. It's so loud, tacky, tacky, tacky. It's so loud. It
I don't
woke
like
me
anything
up.
you just said.
Playing fighting games with a keyboard?
Yeah, I don't like anything that you just said. Everything is bad now.
Well. Sorry, man. And I forgot also, somewhat relatedly to the cop thing. 12 Republicans voted against giving any of the Capitol Police like medals of honor for helping them out and whatnot. And apparently, right-wing Twitter got super pissed off about how Republicans don't care about blue lives. And I'm like, wow, this is just a weird thing we're talking about now.
My thing is, why does this surprise them? GOP don't care about anyone. At least
but people fool themselves into thinking they do, right? It's the whole red team blue team thing, which is why I'm not on either team, because they both suck.
They both suck. I am temporarily aligned with one of them because I like the idea of being able to have at least some say in my primaries because of Florida.
I am not temporarily aligned with either of them. They occasionally blue team will act like they're going to do something I want. That's the closest I get.
Yeah, the problem though is our blue team is right wing and our red team is far right wing.
Well, crazy nonsense right wing. Well, not even just that, but like the truth is that red team aligns with what I want when blue team is doing something bad and they're being contrary, and that's always annoying. Oh yeah, look at Biden. He's doing all this war stuff. We're totally against the war stuff. I'm like, bitches, you are not against the war stuff. You're against Biden.
Party of war.
Like, what the fuck? Well, they're both parties of war. It's just that one party is always opposed to the other party. So they're like, oh yeah, it's bad war stuff. I'm like, you didn't stop Trump. You didn't stop George W. Bush. George W. Bush, we got the worst terrorist attack in American history, and then he went and attacked the wrong country. Like,
I know, right?
What the fuck? You didn't stop that shit. Iraq didn't attack us. But we got Saddam Hussein. I mean,
we
yeah.
We have waged an entire war over basically racism. Another war.
No, I mean oil.
And
we
oil.
used racism.
So
we waged the war over oil.
Related to racism will always circle back to money.
Yeah.
Really look at it. It always circles back around to money and how much where money goes. What?
What's happening? I think an exit just closed.
And anybody who thinks that America has abolished slavery is fucking foolish. We have a pay-to-play prison system.
Well, anyone who thinks that America abolished slavery, I encourage you to watch the 13th Amendment on Netflix. Because I did not understand that very specifically the 13th Amendment, which quote-unquote abolished slavery, what it actually did was it abolished most of slavery. And slavery remains in the prison system.
Yep. And drug laws feed into it.
I kind of understood that that's how the prison system worked, but I didn't understand it was, no, that's where we just made it so that you could still have slavery. And so, yes, if you haven't seen it, please watch the documentary. It's a good story explaining the expanding prison system and why it is that way, and it's racism. In fact, most of the things that go wrong in America, if not all the things that go wrong in America, potentially, racism.
Racism, classism.
Yep.
Pick one.
Classism born out of racism, though.
That's usually what it is. That's usually what it is.
Well, that's Bernie Sanders got his start by being one of the people posing as a white family that would go into neighborhoods after a black family was turned down for getting a loan or a new home, and give them the exact same paperwork and then be approved, and then was it the NCAA? No. Is that right? The organization that he was with would go and pursue legal action because he was one of the few white people that was like actually doing the work to be like, yeah, this is happening. You need to stop this.
Yeah.
This is disgusting and you should be ashamed. What the fuck is wrong with you?
All senators should be like Sanders. That's how what our leadership should look like. And he's still center of the road.
Our leadership should just look more like us instead of old white men. Old white men is not us.
At least not all of us. It's very small.
Well, I mean, it's not us in the general, and it's not us in the capital U.S. Like I believe we're a majority. We're a majority minority country now. So it's not even most of the people. And why do we, and things like, why do we start our election system in, first in the nation, Iowa, with like one of the whitest states? That doesn't make any sense. And I'm not saying it should be Hawaii, which is one of the most diverse states, but I think it should probably cycle outward from which state has a population that itself most accurately represents America, and whatever state that is, that state should go first.
Doesn't matter who goes first in the election.
It does. It totally does. It's the whole reason we have the farm people and Iowa caucus and all that stuff is because Iowa refuses to be anything but first, and so Iowa has made themselves important, and they're important because of that. Like, you got to go to Iowa, you got to get that jump start on your campaign, being the first out there, like having a good show.
What I want to understand about American politics is why empty space has more power than space filled with people.
Oh, actually, that's because of racism.
Oh, yes. Also, again, because racism.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
absolutely correct.
It's because of the way slave states got weighted.
Yeah, good old.
This guy needs to let me the hell over.
I believe that is part of the Jim Crow laws. I may be historically inaccurate there on exactly what's going on, but
no, it predates that because originally you got to keep in mind a lot of people forget.
Yeah, because they were trying to use counting slaves as 3/5 of a person.
Well, you gotta keep in mind that people think, oh yeah, black people had to get the right to vote, and oh yeah, women had to get the right to vote. They don't seem to remember that, oh yeah, most white people had to get the right to vote, because originally it was just white landowners.
Yep.
It wasn't even all the white people who got to vote, and that still has swayed the entire thing.
So the Italian and the Irish needed it too.
Who what?
Yeah, like...
And the Irish.
Oh yeah, like racism is basically the reason every struggle that we have ever had has happened. Sans the Revolutionary War. Which,
to be fair, the lead up to the Revolutionary War was us kicking a bunch of indigenous people out of their own nations. So there was that.
Not exactly wrong there.
I'm exactly right.
The Revolutionary War was... It's like... No country is risen without bloodshed, but we can do better than what we did.
It's one of the reasons I hate it when there's only a handful of like video game series that have like historically accurate situations, or even historical fictional situations that like are mostly accurate to history, but they're fictional. Like,
so
whatever
also
the case.
Known as, what is the worst possible thing that we can think of to have happen here?
Well, like,
look back in history.
Well, that's the thing is when I play a game like that, I'm looking for the worst. I want things to be as bad as they were supposed to be, so I both feel like I'm in the moment, and also so that I might, better learn that. Like, one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games is the third game because it's the Revolutionary War, but at the same time, the more I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, but we never really spoke about how any of the, like, historical figures who were important in America for that game, like, had slaves. Like, we don't really... We mention it, but it's not like you ever go to, like, Washington's plantation and see his slaves working or something like that.
Right.
And, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Mafia 3, which you are playing as a black man in the 1960s, and you're playing in basically a stand-in for Louisiana. This truck is going too slow for my good feeling here. And there are no colored signs, and there's people calling you the N-word, and the cops, like, their overreaction to you makes complete sense because of the racism. Like, right. I get it, and I'm not saying that I like being treated that way, but I like that
Make it accurate.
Yeah.
See, it was a completely different time. It's still rolling over to now.
Because it's one thing where you're just like, I'm like, when somebody kills random civilians in a Grand Theft Auto game and they're just doing it because it's entertaining to kill all this, like, I don't get entertained by that. I don't get entertained by, like, I will say, oh, sorry, when I smack somebody with a car or something like that. Like, I don't freak out and stop and pull over and try and, like, call their next of kin. But, like, I don't aim to do it. Like, I don't play the Lester character. But, when something happens in Mafia 3, I'll do that for most everyone. Oh, hello, what's happening? Oh no, I have to plot a new course. What's going on? Where am I going? Oh shit, that's terrible. Can I get over here? Can I get over here? Is that possible? I have to look really quick. Sorry, guys. A thing has happened.
You're fine.
When it happens in Mafia 3, it's a different situation because I know some of those people are just bad because they're racist. So, like, when they mouth off to me and I pull out my gun and aim it at them and they start freaking out, pleading for their life, I'm like, yeah, you know, that's why you don't just mouth off to people, right? Stop being racist. And then I go on with what I'm doing. And it's kind of a release. It's like right now what I'd like a video game in which, and I hate to say it, but I wish cops were accurately represented and you were playing as some sort of freedom fighter that was actually fighting against, instead of some insurgent like Russia tries to take over. Don't get me wrong, Freedom Fighter, the video game for PlayStation 2, awesome. But also, Russia invading America in 1990s alternate history, I don't know about that. But if you gave me that, but just did it modern day, where you were playing as some character who was, going about fighting off the man and trying to prevent crimes and hate crimes and stuff like that, as a premise, I want that. I want to have some release where I get to experience that, and it doesn't exist. And the closest I can get is racist cops in Mafia 3. I had this entire idea in my...
Nobody wants to have a game about a properly executed revolution floating about. Because it's basically instructions if you think about it.
I mean, I do.
I do too. But it is basically instructions.
I came up with this idea for basically an anime that was one of those magical girl situations, like you have Sailor Moon, except the main villains of the piece were going to be the authority figures who were attacking and oppressing people. And I'm like, yeah, come on, let Japan do it. Why doesn't that exist? Set it in America, that's fine. Have this idea where girls get superpowers and fight the man. That sounds awesome. Let's do that.
Well, there's also a lot of really interesting things in anime that is very anti-religious that doesn't fly over here as well. Japan has its own problems, but when it comes to a cultural survival facet, they've done the right things and suppressed the appropriate stuff. I'm not
their cops don't have guns.
That certain religions should not be practiced, but let's face it, there are some dangerous beliefs out there.
I mean, I don't know. Do they have any religions outlawed? I haven't heard that. They have a fascination with Western religion. A lot of them do. I know that.
There have been some outright. There's some outright no, you can't come here. It sounds hateful stuff, but it's not racism. It's just what these guys believe. Religious sensibilities to me aren't something that should be protected, though, because, frankly, I mean, you can believe in your myth, but that's exactly what it is.
I mean, yeah, I think that people should be absolutely free to practice their religion, and that you should respect their capacity to have that capability, but you don't have to respect their religion. Is where I draw the line.
You're allowed to be religious all you want, do what you want, but I'm allowed to badmouth that religion all I want because it is myth, and therefore basically fiction, and I am entitled to enjoy what I want to enjoy what I read. Right. And if your myth is bad, then it's bad, and I'm sorry, the Greeks have better ones. A lot better, way better.
I take it all the way to the point where basically I just invoke thought crime. If you have these thoughts that are you want to do things that would be
the 7 deadly sins.
if you have things that you would want to do that would be absolutely reprehensible to people, and people knew about that, I don't think you should get in trouble for it unless you act on those things. Like,
everybody's gonna have those thoughts, and that's where the 7 deadly sins thing is actually there. It's a bunch of thought police. You're not allowed to think these things because of XYZ reasons. Well, if you look at it, look at the 7 deadly sins: avarice, greed, wrath, lust, sloth. With the exception of, I think, sloth, every single one of those things is a means of acquiring power or showing dominance over another. Which, if you look historically at what the church does, do as we say, not as we do. That's like the entirety of like every authoritarian system out there, religion being the number one. It doesn't really matter which one. I mean, either. Like, in fairness, the Earth religions are way nicer because they've got at least, don't hurt people written into their tenets, and the Luciferian Satanists are also pretty cool with that because they're like the only religion that I know of that actually has "don't rape" in their top list of commandments of things to not do.
Yeah, it's kind of important that you not do that.
So they get my respect. They, through their tenets, they may believe in magic, and that's fine. I don't buy into that because science.
Like by what you're saying, like rape or something like that. If you get into an online chat room and you have a role play with someone who isn't underage about basically what they call con non-con, which is consensual non-consensual. Like if you're doing that,
people actually want dubcon, not non-con, or con non-con.
I don't know what dubcon. Same thing.
Dubious consent. That's what they actually want.
Well, the thing is, if you're consenting adults and you're doing a fictional role play or something like that, there shouldn't be anything wrong with that because you're not hurting anyone. Like, just straight up, you're not hurting anyone. Either.
Like, as long as everybody in this situation.
To be clear to anybody who might be watching this later, I'm not into it. I'm just saying, like.
Not my thing either. I'm more.
However, I am an admitted furry, so there is that.
Pedophilia, fuck off.
Say what?
I don't care what you say. If you roleplay pedophilia, fuck off.
That is weird.
Die.
That is weird.
I mean, right. You can be averse to that, but like, if you're not hurting anyone.
No, not even an inch. Not giving that an inch. No traction whatsoever. It's not okay.
I don't. From a psychological standpoint, it's a show. In fairness, that is definitely a mark of mental illness. That's like barely controlled psychosis.
But wait, but both people would be adults. There wouldn't be any children involved.
It's still barely controlled
Simulated pedophilia is still pedophilia.
It's still a fantasy. That's creepy as fuck. Go get your head examined. No touchy little kids, not even imaginary ones. That's why, like, all the lolicon stuff, that I fucking hate that shit.
Drives me nuts.
That's creepy as hell.
Once again, not my thing. But,
not my thing.
But my perspective continues to be because you're not actually hurting someone.
As long as it is known that it is creepy as fuck, then so be it.
I mean, yeah, it's totally not societal approved, but then again, like I said, I'm a furry, so there are things that go on in the furry fandom which people would have that exact same reaction to that isn't that.
Consenting, well, okay, so there's some...
You mean like baby furs?
So...
Well, I didn't mean baby furs, but yes, baby furs, actually, but I didn't mean that, that's the same thing. I meant like bestiality, I meant like roleplay zoophilia.
I get that.
But that would be... But see, I consider harming children and harming animals, like harming anyone, any living thing, all in the same camp. So I don't have any special difference between role-playing one and role-playing the other because no one's actually being hurt. It's not the same thing as, like, trying to collect the pictures or something like that, because if there are real pictures involved, someone had to get hurt for those pictures to exist.
Right.
Like, that is not a victimless crime. You're making an industry, right. You're encouraging it, you're hurting someone.
Get ready to turn left.
Well, this hole went to a place. I'm about to come at one of the worst turns in the game in a different direction. I don't normally come at it this way, I think. You know, if you're watching later on YouTube, respectfully leave your comments below. Because I don't think anybody's currently watching. Okay.
I see 3.
I'm probably one of those.
Yep, I'm one of the other 2.
I was about to say, yeah, I think that's you guys. I didn't see or feel myself get into a wreck, but I got a crash thing. I think it's just because I got close. I can't tell that I got any damage.
You got close? We're gonna find you. But there wasn't a wreck. We're gonna find you.
Man, one time I pulled up to a stoplight. I was 1.5 feet back from where I stopped from the white line, and they were like, "You ran that red light." And I was like, "The fuck I did." Oh, that is the worst curve in the whole game.
Ah, son of a bitch.
I did it. I did the
I
thing.
fucked up.
How'd you fuck up?
I was supposed to wait for a mechanic called Deafening Roar, and I just killed him too fast because I'm too high a level. Alright, well, I'll just get a 2.
I think it's X-Slash will do all the damage necessary, but it won't kill them. I don't remember. It's been a while. Sorry, that's Pokemon. But still, that's what it's there for. It's for getting that Pokeball action.
We are here.
Damn it.
Janet.
Like, okay, related to what we were just talking about, I take issue with, Horn of the, Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics, because most of them are children spirits. Alright? Most of them are dead children.
Those are weird.
That's weird.
I get it. Animatronics, animals, I got it. You know, looks cool and all. But when you really think about it,
you go, oh, I don't
dead
want to go
children.
To that
dead children. So it's also necrophilia, because it's dead children.
Oh, do it.
Oh, shit. Oh, no! I was too tired and distracted, and I did not actually start the parking procedure. I am doomed. I am driving around in here without... Oh, I'm just gonna... the game's gonna ask me in a second, hey, do you want to just park this? And I'm gonna be like, yes. Because I fucked up. I don't think I can properly turn this around to come back in here in a second. I can't believe I did that. Well, I mean, I can believe I did that. There was distraction. But
wow,
still.
I gotta remember Goldwire is a freaking great place to go for stuff.
Or, you know what, on a related note, every time you see something that is literally a child form Pokemon, any of those that you can't breed to get eggs, those are child Pokemon. And when you do porn of them, I'm like, that's child pornography. You may not think of it as child pornography,
yeah,
but like it is.
You tell someone that and they go, oh, they do one of those. Gross!
Sometimes you just go, oh, it's a fictional character. I'm like, yeah, it's a fictional character. Just don't have it both ways. Okay, let's see. Which way do you want this? Park it here or...
Pokemon.
And then there's the
Pokemon
Sonic
weird.
fans.
What about this? Well, okay, to be fair, most of the Sonic characters are underage. See, there you go. Sonic has an adult personality, but almost all of the Sonic characters, I believe Sonic included, are all teenagers or lower. Tails is like 8.
Knuckles and Sonic are of age. Sally is of age. Amy is 12. Cream is 6. Tails is 11.
I don't know by what means you know all that. You know, I'm just gonna say this is parked. I can't turn this vehicle around,
Sonic
articulate a trailer.
fan. I've played Sonic all my life. I just know how old they are.
I think Sonic's like 16, isn't he?
Sonic's like 20. Knuckles is 32.
Are you talking about the Archie comics? Just because they aged in the Archie comics. I mean, Tails is like 13 in the Archie comics. I'm talking about legit canon. I mean, the Archie comics were great, don't get me wrong, but...
I love the
All right.
Archie comics. Those are canon to me. They're pretty good.
To break up this thought, I'm doing the outro. So this has been Improvision Entertainment presents American Truck Simulator with conversation. I've been Hunter Munn,
What a commentary.
I've been more Husker Solid.
I'm Malcolm Fett.
and we will see you in the future.